Hey y'all.
And we didn't start the fire. Hello, everybody.
So already singing.
Always saying, hey, I can't get us into trouble because it's just a few little lines and, you know,
You can do like what, 15 seconds? So
15 seconds. So, um, hello, everybody. It's Saturday night. Chill. I got two of my little bros with me.
that's the key word, chill. We're gonna chill
So
tonight.
we're going to chill. So to just really address, yes, Karen, I we knew that this was going. We just want to address the white elephant, not the white elephant, or the big elephant, or the big
Yeah.
red elephant, so to speak. And for anybody who comes back on replay, or if anybody pops in and takes a look at what we're talking about, we are not going to be discussing what's on the news. We do just want to say that no matter what side that we are on politically or anything, that violence is just not condoned, no matter who the person is.
Yeah.
And we are going to just leave it at that. And we're going to turn things up and switch to a different topic. And let's just say hello to a few people. So, Amanda is at a concert tonight. So, she's going to be watching playback. Hey, Amanda,
All
hope it was
right.
a
Lucky
great
you.
concert. Would love to know who you want to go see. And Fatima and Odelia are at a wedding, another wedding. So, enjoy, my ladies. And of course, we have Moira. Moira is here. So Amanda's doing a show tonight. Oh my goodness. Well, enjoy your show. Good luck, Amanda. That's Mama Sushi right here. And let's see, who else do we have? Um, we have Nancy. Nancy is here. Karen is here. Yes, yes, chill, please. So I just found out about it about 15 minutes ago because I don't watch news. So I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. So, and we're all caught up with everybody in chat. So, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good
How
evening.
is your day going? Tom, how's life been? It's been a couple of weeks.
It's good.
Besides popping in and harassing, me in my chat, or you and Miss Taro D, shaking things up a bit.
Keeping it interesting is how
Keep
I
it,
like to
keeping it,
put it.
yeah, keeping it real and keeping it interesting.
Exactly.
Um,
Well, you
you
didn't
two
like
were
our
You
no
two
glove,
were
no love
wonderful last. Oh,
talk
that was.
yesterday.
Oh, I love that. It's like I gotta go back and I gotta take a little screenshot and put. I mean, that was just. I laughed, and Elsie was saying something really serious, and I'm reading, or she was reading, and I'm trying to cover, so
Oh
she
yeah.
think I'm laughing at her reading.
Allison's gonna hate me.
Nah, takes a lot for Allison to hate anybody. Tom and his shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Um. So, yep,
Linda,
Linda.
that's what I get too from the cards. Sorry, I had to.
Yep, and Tom and I had our shared our feelings too, but we're avoiding talking about that tonight, Linda. Our my show last night was a bit heavy, and I want to make sure that it's a little bit more interesting and a little bit lighter, um, a little delight tonight instead of a little, Um, yes,
Degree.
Linda, we understand. So I was asking Tom backstage, um, what would we think maybe we can talk about tonight? And we asked Jeff if he had anything that he wanted to bring up. And kind of like what I started with is while we were eating dinner tonight, we were watching, Jack Osborne has a podcast in which he also videotapes and has on YouTube. And he's with Cindy Kaza, and I really like Cindy Kaza. She was the replacement, not just a replacement, but she was the Holzer Files. If I've never seen the Holzer Files, that was a
Yeah.
great show,
Okay.
2 seasons with her and Dave Schrader. And oh, I can never think of the other guy's name. Oh, but well, Dave Schrader has his own podcast and stuff. He's well known in the paranormal community. And Cindy was working on Holzer Files. She was doing her own thing. She actually was a replacement for Amy Allen when Amy had to leave the Dead Files, and unfortunately, Cindy was only on the Dead Files for about a season when, as the ratings started going up, lo and behold, the Travel Channel said, "Well, oh, we don't have any more money for the show. Sorry, it's not in the budget." And I'm going to go on record here for myself personally and say that I think a particular show called Ghost Adventures had something to do with that. There are people on YouTube in the paranormal community who have said very unkind, not say unkind. How do I rephrase this? Have had very negative experience and have shared with uh, I could say his name, right? I can't get into trouble for YouTube, right? Well, anyway,
I don't think so.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I don't
so.
think you would have
So
a problem.
everybody knows that Ghost Adventures is, basically, run and controlled by Zach Bagans. I mean, the show early on with him and Nick and Aaron was great. It was one of the pioneering. They were really well done. And then, of course, what happens when you get famous? Stuff goes to your head, and there's just been a lot of rumor mills going on about, with Ghost Hunters as well. Um, a lot of these, and what happens is a lot of these people start out with true with good intentions, but once they get into Hollywood and they get into TV, then it's all of a sudden they have to start dictating, well, you have to ad lib this, or this isn't scary enough, we need, here, let's embellish something. And there
Yeah.
are a lot of people who end up walking away because they don't want to come across as being fake or being told how to do a show, or to fake evidence. And one of the things that Karen brought up was Jason Hawes yours last night. Yeah, there is. So now there is a whole controversy about owner of the Conjuring House
Yeah.
in the community right now. Okay, but what happened with Jason and Ghost Hunters is that it's still debatable whether or not that evidence was faked, and that was in Buffalo, I believe, at the Grand Terminal, which is haunted. Haven't been there yet. I should probably go there before I leave New York, because I've always wanted to go there. It's beautiful on the outside, what's left of it. Faking evidence, but at one point, Sci-Fi wanted to renew them again, but Sci-Fi started making these stipulations. Well, we want you guys to embellish more of this. We want this to be, scripted and this and that. And him and Grant were like, no, we own this show, and we said we're not going to do this, and we're going to leave. And so, they took the show off. And then, of course, there's other stuff going on later on between the two of them, unfortunately. But anyhow, where was I going with this? We were talking about
I don't know.
going down a rabbit hole. But yeah,
You're going to Skinwalker eventually. That's I think what you were getting to.
So talking about Jack and all of them, and with Cindy. So we were watching the show, and of course there's some people who think that they have had some alteration to some of the video, the imagery, but they still say it's really become a paranormal hotspot, and it's more or less again about skinwalkers than it has to do with people are finding that there's like a portal there, an energetic portal, and energy centers around the world where it's easy for extraterrestrials to be able to enter our time zone, our energy field, our gravity, whatever you want to call it, in certain locations. And while discussing this, Tom mentioned that he doesn't necessarily believe in extraterrestrials, and that's okay. We all have different perspectives on
What a
spirituality.
shock!
Well,
Tom's on the fence about something.
It's not. Well, actually,
Exactly.
It was. Well, for me, actually, it was because humans thinking that we're the only intelligent life forms, or any sort of life form in this advanced universe. That's where I was kind of like, okay, Tom. But again, like on my shows, we open things up and let people share their ideas. So
I mean, it's kind of comes the whole extraterrestrial thing. I don't know if they're real, if they're not real. I don't know if they're necessarily extraterrestrial. They could be ultra terrestrial, which would be more like an interdimensional,
Yes, that too.
which would align with your whole idea about the whole portals and energy centers and things like that, much more than the idea of extraterrestrial. So it's semantics to some extent, but
So what do you think, Jeff? You think
I think, well, there's someone I watch on Sundays who says shapeshifters are already here. And the only reference point I have is shapeshifters. I tend to think it would be a selfish point of view to think we're the only, thought or the only. See, here you go again with the semantics, like Tom's right. It would be selfish of us to think we're the only, beings capable of high level thought or whatever in the world. But then again, that's ascribing some of the things that we have connoted that are negative to these evil beings, maybe in the past when there have been abductions. So how can we really be fully open to something we haven't seen yet? So it lends credence to Tom's argument in one way. But the other idea of it, without sounding overly like Switzerland or overly diplomatic, is I think there are too many instances of too many people that see like exactly the same things being drawn. And it's like, it just seems to me as if it's not a living being that's actually come here, then there's some sort of telepathic tool being used in either a portal, either through a portal, or maybe, if again people could put the finger on this better than I could, an astral plane or something where we as humans are these entities and we are actually the ones living this life or have lived this life or will continue to live this life. And maybe this is the form of the quote afterlife or the eternal life we're looking at. That's what I think. I know that sounds really fucked up, but
yeah.
I was looking at the chat and I had a thought, and so interdimensional or interterrestrial. So what's the actually? So I guess you can go by definition, extraterrestrial being outside of our planet's universe, coming into our onto our planet. That would be considered extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
But if something is interdimensional or interterrestrial, our universe is full of portals and wormholes and black holes and stuff. So could it not be the same thing? We're just giving it, another label.
I mean, it could be that it's just coming from a farther away portal than we are thinking.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, 100%. But again, it's one of those things that we just don't really know. But I don't know. I mean, like, one of my things about it is, oh God, who was I? Oh, somebody was just talking about this the other day. Oh geez, that futurist guy. There's an argument that it's very possible that we are the most advanced life form in the universe, because there's no real proof of anything coming to us at this point. So it doesn't mean we're the only life that's out there, but
I think there's evidence, and people, some of it is fabricated, yes, but as others, no, I think it's very real.
There's nothing undeniable. Like, there's nothing like 100% this is proof. Aliens exist. There just isn't. I mean, you might believe it, and that's fine, and you have every right to, and I think anybody could, but like there's just not 100% proof.
You know what? In a past life, Tom, you might have been doubting Thomas.
Yes, 100%.
That thought came to me a couple of days ago, and I'm like, well, they share the same name. And I thought that was kind of funny, seeing that you don't believe in reincarnation necessarily right now in your spiritual path.
Right now, I don't. Talk to me in 2 weeks. Who knows?
So I was going to bring up, star seeds, but then Tom was like, "Well, there's a whole other. That's like
There's
a
a
whole
whole
other
messy
can of
side of
worms
that.
that he, wants to share, but we're going to plan for that so that I can include links to articles or videos so that we can let people make their own, educated decision and whether or not it resonates, as truth for them or not, or just another form of keeping an open mind. Because that's what we like to do here. We try to keep an open mind and see everybody's perspective. And oh my gosh, Deanne, I think this is the first time I've ever seen you in chat. Hello, how have you been, my dear? I know there's conversation with, I think, the political. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on where the Moira.
Yeah.
So what's going on with The Conjuring? Tell me.
So for
How is
anybody
it
who wants some
political?
who wants to
Or
just
is that another rabbit hole?
it's a bit of a rabbit hole, but no, basically there was a whole post that was written on their public Facebook page, so anybody can go see it, for the Conjuring house and in the haunted house in Rhode Island. That was just very messy, we'll say. But they also just recently let go, or I don't know where this lands now, but it's potentially eight people that used to work there either left or were fired. I don't know what's the
From where?
truth. From the Conjuring house.
So, wait a minute. I'm confused now because I thought the Conjuring House was a location where there were evil spirits. There was one in Connecticut, right? Was that?
It's in Rhode Island. It's
Rhode Island,
I know there was one in Connecticut too, wasn't there? That's
it's not the Conjuring house. That's a different thing.
Oh, that's a different one.
That's
so there's So there's a house in Rhode Island now. The staff that takes care of that house.
Well, they rent it out. They rent it out for
and they're
paranormal
faking
stuff.
Evidence. You think
there's
okay? I just need to get on ball so I knew what was. Why were
there's
they?
some
What were they doing?
messy stuff right now happening that like Jason Hawes's daughter and everything has been.
Oh, with the someone told me that
the stuff.
Was an absolute fake, and I'm like, oh no, with the knots or something. Hold my
they're doing like Fox Sister stuff.
Yeah. That's why I saw a video recently when they were talking. I think it was that Agrippa channel, and they were mentioning the sisters. I'm like, oh no, some of that was fake. They're doing the gauze out of the mouth and stuff. I'm not saying all of the people with the Theosophical Society and what that
that's a whole
spiritualism wasn't all wrong, but it wasn't all right either. So
the whole Theosophical Society thing is a whole other rabbit hole that's you probably don't want to go down.
Well,
there's some.
That's what we're here for, right? And some people popped in. So yes, we said hello to Deanne. Christina is in Australia. She's joining us. And why can't we be the only ones in this vast universe? I don't think so, Christina.
We might be the only mistake.
Like
who knows?
I mean, for a while, I just thought it was. I mean, my thing is, it's selfish of us to think we are, but then again,
that's how I used to definitely think about it.
Proven it? Have they proven it?
No.
Empirically, have they improved?
No.
Have they proven it? No. I mean,
there's evidence, but it's not. Yeah, like you said, it's not empirically proven, and that's where
And Karen said there is a whole universe out there we can't explore. I've thought before, what if there is another Earth on the other side of space? And they think that there are some planets.
I mean, there's definitely planets that have the same setup of ours,
atmosphere and things and stuff. So
chemical makeup and everything.
So
it's possible.
Say right out that we are the only intelligent life is, to me, that gets thrown right out of the window right now, because even though there's no way to actually prove it, there's no way to disprove it. So to actually say emphatically that there isn't, to me, there are people who have that experiences.
But I'm going to throw this
one as a child.
I did too. I mean, I've seen UFOs.
He saw an alien. No, he actually.
Oh, he's an alien.
Gray.
Okay.
He saw a gray.
Yeah, that's
when he was younger, come to his bedroom window, and scared the living shit out of him.
Yeah,
just like because he also saw Bigfoot. Shan's very in tune. but he physically saw camping when he was younger with his father in Washington. He actually saw Bigfoot. He says they are very real, and he says remembering as a child, having a gray looking into, seeing a light and seeing a gray looking into his window. So for him, that's his proof right there, because he actually physically saw it. So, and there are people who have had the same experiences. So for those of us who haven't, it's kind of shaky ground to actually say emphatically that there is no such thing if we haven't had our own personal experience where somebody had, their own.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I just think like there are too many coincidences in the world, but there isn't enough evidence to back up every one of these coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's almost as if like they could release all these papers. The government said that they were going to do it, and they don't do it, or they redact them, or they hide stuff, and then everything has to come down to conspiracy, and it's as if we've already had this debate hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times before, and yet nothing ever gets done about it. And I just feel like, Area 51, all these things, like I sometimes wonder if Area 51's even real.
It's probably not.
Real. It's
probably not.
Protected airspace.
Like
I mean, when you get anywhere near past that sign, if you go like a quarter inch, those guys are there, and you can see some people have seen guns trained on.
It depends on what you're saying. Is it real? Yes, it exists as a place. Yes, is it a real Is it
a landing
alien
place?
No,
where
it's an experimental.
Yeah.
The problem is,
we don't know that for sure, though.
We don't know that for sure, but we do know that the government has been proven to have used where they've put out misinformation specifically about the alien topic.
Yes. What's people. That guy's name?
Yeah.
We've seen them in the. I can see his face. He's got that low mustache, and Doty is one of them.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just a lot. Yeah, there's a few people that they used. It's very helpful to have this misinformation campaign out there to make people confused, unsure. When you see something that you can't explain in the sky, especially around those areas where they're testing things, it's always a nice thing to be like, hey, aliens.
Some of us re-engineer too, they believe.
Could be, but
stuff that has been and when
I mean, if you go by like what,
and then everything being retracted and say no, it's a weather balloon, and people on their deathbed coming out and saying, "I'm about to die. I was forced to say that was not a weather balloon. Yeah. We actually retrieved craft," because these people's lives, and a lot of people have had accidents. They have had information that were going to come forward who have accidentally, out of nowhere, they got hit by a bus, or they got hit by a car, or So, and when people try to ask for the Freedom of Information Act for things on files, and papers, so much stuff comes redacted. You can't even read the damn thing. So there is something out there, and it is being protected. And I think, just my point of view, a lot of it has to do with the main religions in the world, especially the Vatican. They don't want people to know the truth about really human evolution and origin and history, and things like that are being covered up. Like Göbekli Tepe, we just found out that they're stopping excavation. They said, "Oh, it's not that important," but yet Göbekli Tepe is one of the most oldest beyond anything else. That's proving the history books, Ron. Funding for that has been cut. There's a place in Indonesia that just lost all their funding. There is a wonderful channel on YouTube called Bright Insight with Jimmy Corsetti. He follows and has worked with Graham Hancock and everything. And there's obvious proof that there are multiple chambers and more vaults and things for people to explore in these places. The LiDAR that's showing that this goes way back further than what the Bibles and the books and stuff are saying. And world organizations like the World Organization, the WHO, World Health Organization, but also the World Economic Organization these people are getting in who have money, and that used to be what politicians are getting people to cut the funding for these sites, and now they can't be excavated because people don't, these governments, these religious institutions don't want people to know the truth about our origins. And I'm going to be quiet for a second because we've had some comments. Deanne says, I grew up around paranormal all my life, starting with the spiritual activities in grandma and grandpa's house. Yes, and Moira, I did see your question. I did highlight that. Dina is here. Hello, Dina. Let's see. I'm not sure about his daughter. I only watched Jason, but people should be nicer about how they make their criticism, and I'm leaving it there. Not talking about y'all, by the way, just the general public.
I was like,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
talking about us.
Yeah,
we
it's
get
gotten
it,
messy out
so-
there. It's
oh, so, yeah.
it's a lot going on right now. A lot of fingers being pointed and a lot of
Mhm.
people complaining about each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I met
Yep.
Jason and Grant years ago, like 20 years ago, 15 years ago at a convention, and they were like the nicest people.
Mhm.
So like,
So Grant kind of stabbed Jason in the back, but I digress.
yeah, I'm sure Jason's not the easiest person to work with either. So,
Mhm. But
but there's some very sus footage out there of Grant potentially faking something. So if
yeah.
people
And here in
go,
Buffalo, of all places,
Yep,
yay!
exactly. So if you do some
And that
searching,
place
you'll see
is
it.
haunted, people. That, I mean, I
Allegedly.
haven't been in there, but there have been enough local groups that have gone in, and I even got to paint outside of it. I couldn't go into it because it wasn't a public event, but just being on the grounds, it's like you get that feeling like you are being watched. Deanne says, the only thing I find with paranormal is fear gets to people. I didn't run from it. Grandpa always said, it's not the ones in a cemetery
Mhm.
that'll hurt you. It's those who walk the earth who does.
Very true.
Yeah. If you believe in spirits in an afterlife, right, Tom? So, and Tom still hasn't been convicted. Hasn't been convinced
Or
yet.
that.
Ooh, Freudian slip. And this is making me think of Ramon and Ginger's Mothman investigation show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up because when I was talking about the whole ultra terrestrial thing,
Mm-hmm.
that whole concept really was kind of started by John Keel, who wrote the Mothman Prophecies. A lot of him and some other people that were very much around that. So yeah, I would recommend like looking at like reading some of John Keel's books and stuff that he talks about, because he gets into the whole ultra terrestrial thing. Like there's arguments that like the injured cold is who's
Mm-hmm.
comes up in the
Alien.
Mothman story, that he's an ultra terrestrial or UT, as people refer to them as, not necessarily an extraterrestrial, but what's the difference? Also, who knows? Like really, like maybe they still come from a different place in a different dimension as well. Who knows?
Karen says, "Oh wow, Tom, I'm jelly. Oh, because you got to meet, I think, Grant and Jason. So
yeah. If I could ever dig up the photo, I'll post it somewhere. I did get a photo with them. They were very very nice, I gotta say.
So Tom, you saw her question. I just want to make sure. Jeff, was there anything else? Because I know when Tom and I get going, we don't want to leave you out. So
the other thing is too, like there are people that believe that we descended from a hybrid race, and we're all hybrids. Like right now, we're all walking this earth, and at one time there was an imprint where our DNA was mixed with someone else's DNA, and then you get into the whole bit about creationism and all that other garbage, and then it crosses over into a whole different realm. So I'm just wondering, like, when we have these discussions about what we're teaching in schools and such, if we have no evidence to back this shit up, even if it might be true, where do we go with it if we want to get to a point where we're actually looking at the idea of, as Shaw Woman says, the star seed stuff, and we talked about that backstage and all that other stuff. Like what, like, is there a place for this even in society going forward if some of us really have visions of our past lives as clearly as we do as, you know, I've been told I was reptilian. I've been told I was a fish. I've been, you know, so all of it is like all one now. And it's like, to me, there was this thing of not gaslighting before this week. That's been a theme of mine, but there was something earlier Tom said about rabbit holes and like conjuring up stuff. Like, are we conjuring it, or is there something about humanity that has given us this idea about ourselves that we haven't fully realized who we are yet? You know, and that's why I think we'll never know. I feel like someone's playing Nintendo and we're the game.
Well, I mean, yeah, then you can get into the whole Matrix thing.
Saying? Like, I think it's the Matrix again. Like, I just feel like it's, and I'm gonna say it, that it's all the FW, the free will, you know, and all this other stuff. Because ultimately, what you believe is probably going to come down to what you know. And if you know something strongly, and if you've experienced it, that's your free is experience.
It's reality.
Free will. Is that reality? Is that reality?
Objective? That's the dilemma, and this is where you get into the weird thing. Because is it objective reality or is it like subjective? Like, is it? I'm a firm believer in the idea that your perception is what dictates your reality. You create your own like reality tunnel to some extent by your beliefs and your thinking and all that. So yes. Now the argument, where this gets into a dilemma is how does that coincide? And we've talked about this in the free will conversation that we had, which we really probably should need to revisit. But like, at what point does it become whose free will is bumping up against each other's free will, and how does that coexist on the same? Does it need to coexist in the same place, or is it all just overlaps?
Or from you about Area 51 your whole life, or you're going into your own subconscious and you're trying to tap into memories that your body doesn't, or your mind doesn't want you to come up with. So you go into these really, really deep states of trance, and then you find out more than you expected, and then you go, oh shit, like I didn't want to know this. And then you know, it's like, how much of this is real and how much of it isn't? And I feel like that's one of the bigger things about us in our existence that's not an existential threat, but an existential question that no one really seems to want to pursue. It gets swept under the rug so much. And I thought, you know, with an enlightened society that maybe we would be a lot further with this by now, but we're not.
We're not. And I think it's a tough
fight more.
Well, I mean, and that's a whole other argument, is that like a plan or not? Or is that just our human nature as well too? I mean, we are tribal by just by our
we had
nature.
Some Deanne also shared, and Miss Terrell D, I'm going to share what you said too, sweetheart. The Anishinaabe, oh, I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry, Deanne. I don't want to be rude, but the elders taught the 12 spiritual dimensions. Mankind can tap into 8 of them. We are not worthy of the other 4. Only 100% spirit can. Alien and Sasquatch are 100% spirit.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I stand on the Bigfoot woo stuff, because I do believe in Bigfoot.
Saw him. Yeah, he saw
him. I believe in Bigfoot.
Scared the shit out of him. It was so weird.
I don't think. I think there's a high likelihood that to some extent a hominid of some sort exists like that, but
and he ended up being.
I'm not sure about the dimensional stuff.
And he ended up being friends with the kid of one of the guys that did the actual filming. That one of the Patterson. I think he was friends with the Patterson boy, growing up. You know, around, I think they're around 7. They were like 6, 7, or 8 or something, and they had been friends. And I believe if I remember what Shan told me correctly, he got to see some of the casts and stuff. Yeah, this is what Dad found, da 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 and stuff. So that around it, they really do believe there's been enough, experiences in people's firsthand of seeing them. And I just want to get to what Miss Tarot D had shared. What you believe is not what you know, but what you choose. Oh, but what you choose to know and believe. And in the end of the day, but in the end, it's what gets you through the day. And try to go through
Yeah,
the
I'm
comments so everybody gets their say. Um,
That sounds
Go
like
ahead.
repression to me.
What's
Like that
that?
sounds like my living in
Yeah, it's what gets
repression.
Oh,
yeah.
what gets you through the day?
Yeah.
Um,
And that seems like totally opposite to you, Miss Tarot D. So I don't know how that reconciles with like how you are or how like we are, or you know what I mean? Like ultimately I would say that's that whole free will mistake again. Because
Mhm.
that's saying you have, and I don't want to come back to Heather's examples of things that happen to people that are bad, but I'm going to do it anyway. You don't, you can't block out absolutely everything in your life and then say what you said. I mean, you can choose to move past it as best you can, but it's going to flood you. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, it seems like a really good, if I can read the comment back again to
Here,
myself,
I think I might have erased it. Right here,
because
in the end, it's what gets you. Is that
yeah,
it?
it's in the end, and in the end, okay, all right. So, and then again, that would be like picking up a bottle of vodka for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
Well, and it is that to some extent that
and it
it
does become about free will in the end, and that's
yeah.
good if you make the right choice. But what is it that what doesn't kill you make you stronger? Bit or is it that your experiential,
Yeah.
stuff is
Look,
what's shaping you to become the
Yeah.
person you are today? But it's not about making you stronger. It's about accepting it as having happened and then just dropping it and not thinking about it again. Because to me, that seems unrealistic and impossible.
I mean, I think I'm going to say an unpopular opinion probably here, but I think
That's fine.
shock. But I think to some extent, like a lot of spiritualism and a lot of uh, ideas like that are exactly what you're talking about. They're the bottle of vodka. They're a thing to get you through the day for a lot of people in a lot of ways, and I think to some extent we're probably all guilty of it
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
on some level.
Mm-hmm.
Some more than others, and whatever. And I think there's different ways you can look at it, and I think there's different ways of uh, there's study that gets you through things, and then there's study that helps you improve. And I think there's different ways that you can approach. And I think I'm somebody who has approached it in various different ways, in seriousness and in unseriousness. It's in a number of times in countless different ways throughout my life. Um, to varying success or failure. But I think it's just I don't think what Miss Tara D said was really wrong, because I do think that it is. I'm trying to scroll up to the comment just so I can get it right. But what you believe is what you know. I mean, that's very much in line with like honestly what I
Yeah.
said. Like
Try
it's
to go
your
back up and grab
perception.
that for here, right
Your
there.
perception is dictating your reality, and like what you're viewing as reality. And the question is what you're viewing reality objectively. Like, is it objective reality? Is it reality for all of us? Is it, or is it just for you? Are we all just living our own little reality, like bubbles that are floating around? I don't know, man. Like, I really don't
I
know.
don't know.
That seems to me like if it works, Miss Tarot D, I wish it could work for everybody. What I'm
Yeah.
because what I'm this, and I asked this before when I threw in objective reality, because I know we're supposed to be talking about aliens and such right now, but to me, it just seems like if I've been invaded by an alien, okay, however that sounds, or if I've been abducted, or if I've been tested, or whatever, and to me, it's real. Okay, that's and I choose to believe it, but there are people that will block it out, and then they will go to people, or there will be people that will go to, well, I don't know what they're called when they try to take the gay out of you.
Oh yeah, like the conversion, therapy camps.
Conversion therapy. I had someone in my family that wanted to do that to me. And it just seems to me as if it's like it's weird when you experience something that you can't change, but it still leaves an indelible mark on you to say something like that. Like it doesn't hurt, but it just doesn't seem realistic to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
Karen says that's awful, but I mean, there are people who will swear that they have gone through this experience, like Benny and Betty. Hill. I mean, they had the dress. I mean, it just the extreme amount of pain and fear and terror. So I think this is very real, and there are some very nasty ones. Of course, there are people in our community who swear that, well, there are bad ones, but we're protected better now by the good ones, and that there are also some things I've heard about us going to spaceships to do birthing and to do something. And for me, that's kind of getting a little more out of left field for me, in my understanding. But to say that, we're the only intelligent life, again, just kind of going back to that, or the possibility of, people extraterrestrials coming here, and, who's to say, like us, we destroy this planet, we go to Mars. What difference is that of another alien planet? Or some don't like alien, they prefer extraterrestrial or star brothers and sisters. But what if coming from them, their planet, and they come here, and we're part of the destruction of their planet, and we're part of their so there's all, I don't think it's not a cut dry, and I don't think we should shut down all possibilities.
No,
it's just different possible realities or scenarios that and some of us have that innate initial experience where we know for a fact it's real for us, but for somebody like Jeff, or for you, Tom, that never had one, for you it has to be extremely, like, it needs to meet credentials, it needs to be, meet certain factors for you to be able to say, okay, yes, this is real, I can get this behind this now. You know what I mean? Again, it's subjective, like you all been saying.
Yeah, I mean, like here's the thing. I mean, like the Betty and Barney Hill stuff. Like, I don't think that they don't. I mean, I 100% believe that they believe what happened to them. I mean, if you want to hear true horror, listen to those hypnosis tapes and stuff. Like, it's absolutely horrific. And
she didn't make that up.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's something definitely happened to them. Now, I think the argument could be made: was it ultra terrestrials? Was it extraterrestrials? Was it the government? Was it something else? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that. None of us can answer that. That's just the reality of it.
Does
None of us can.
Ultra-terrestrial and extraterrestrial, does it really matter? They're both a spiritual. It's a portal.
I don't think it matters. No, I mean,
it's another label that humans, try to use to figure out stuff. Where, because they say we don't even use we only use like a small portion of our brains. And so then what's the rest of that brain there for? What are we waiting? You know what I mean? So either shit really hit the fan way back long ago, and we had to have that all shut down because we couldn't use that part of our brain peacefully or properly, and now we have to slowly work. Oh, what's Miss Tarot D saying now? When you laugh, it's got to be Miss Tarot D. I won't believe it. Yeah, that's
no, it's not something I'd be putting out there. Nope.
Do I sound too needy? No. But
no, aliens scare the
Deanne,
shit out of me. I'm not gonna say they don't. Like the
yeah.
idea of aliens like coming and like, yeah, that
I mean,
scares
I've
the
seen
hell
this
out of me.
shit.
I've seen things in the sky. I'm not gonna say
Well,
I
I
have.
mean, through a, my brother's one telescope when I was younger, and that's
Yeah.
always stuck with me. But Deanne says here, so um, who she's talking about is the original man with the people, and she says I have met him twice. One was Musabi, the other was Bugagi Winiki. Musabi is the keeper of the children in the forest, and I'm so sorry, Winini travels underground with the little people. So Deanne,
Mhm.
I'm going to assume that you are of Native heritage or have some Native heritage. So that, and we thank you and we're honored that you are willing to share these experiences and the stories,
Thank you.
of your people. We're honored. Thank you. And so she has seen and met this entity, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or the different names that other, because all over the world in other different cultures they have been seen. What people call aliens, Anishinaabe calls thunderbirds. They are ancient birds who don't need feathers because they fly around in ships. So that makes, and then Miss Tarot D also made a couple extra points here. It all goes back to the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. What gets you through the day is what you realize you have control over. Let that stick with you there for a second. Wow,
That makes more sense to me.
that's profound. And then, okay, then there's the probing. Okay, we already got that. Okay. So thank you, Deanne, again for sharing about your peoples. And Moira, I still have your question starred, and I'm just waiting to see where you are guilty as charged. Okay. Believe it or not, horror movies are extremely boring. I don't understand why people get so emotional frightened by it. To me, what I don't like about, I don't know how we got into horror movies, but what I hate is that real life horrors happen like that with a lot of people being, I won't go there graphically, and why somebody would want to make a movie showing people, even though it's fake, but things that are real. What would be, to me? I don't know what that person's psyche who would want to make a movie of seeing people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just can't. For me, spiritually, that feels very dark for me, and something that is like, why do we need this? And okay, now my thing is being funny here. There we go. Okay. Why do you always blame me? I didn't blame you. I
You did.
just opened the door a little bit. Did I?
You did. But it's okay.
What did I blame you
I
for,
don't
Miss
think she
Tara?
did.
Then
What did,
anytime I'm laughing and distracted, it's
Oh.
It's Miss Tarady's fault.
Oh, well, yeah,
okay.
that
I
she
started having a heart attack because I thought I offended somebody again. Miss Tarot D is the last person I would want to do that to. So, no, Miss Tarot D, I just, opened the door, a little bit more for you to come through. It was, you're already there. I just,
Yeah.
So, are we caught up? You're good, Heather. People can read the comment and give it a try for themselves.
Yeah.
That Miss Tara, wise woman, 1 minute, white trash the next.
That's why we love you.
Yeah. Horror movies stay in my brain with awful dreams. I can't either.
So Moira had a
Yes, and I'm bringing that up right now.
question earlier that before we completely
Mostly
forget.
unrelated tarot question. Any thoughts on RWS World versus Thoth Universe? And I will let Tom and Jeff, I don't know if you work with the Thoth or the Thoth system. But here, let me put, go ahead. I'm going to put you on the big screen so people can see her.
My very first tarot deck.
Oh, and you still have it.
This is a 1986 greenie that I have that I will forever love. But yeah, I learned Thoth first. That was what I had taught myself first.
That's the first deck I ever saw in poetry class.
Yeah,
Workshop.
yeah, that's right.
High
Yeah.
school. I was like, ooh. Ooh, what are these?
Yeah.
Pretty
So, I mean,
images.
so like Moira, I mean, honestly, they're different, but somewhat the same. I mean, they both come from the Golden Dawn system. So personally, I like both of them for different reasons. One, I really like the artwork. Actually, let me pull it out.
Yeah, to go with her question, she said the magician's sleight of hand. Disinformation distracts us from what we
I
should
think that
really
was
be
in.
thinking about.
I think that was in reference to when we were talking about the misinformation campaigns that the government had.
In all areas, yes, and the patriarchal,
Yeah.
to hide evolution and to keep, not evolution, but
I think this is actually in order. Yeah.
these are some
So
really cool cards. I remember the art.
so Lady Frida Harris did amazing paintings for this. So this is for those that aren't familiar, which I mean everybody probably should be, but at this point. But
I'm just going to run really quick and grab some water because I'm losing my voice. Be right back.
So the Thoth deck was created by Aleister Crowley, and painted by Lady Frida Harris. When was it, like in the 40s, 1940s, I believe it was, that it came out or was finished. Both kind of grew out of the Golden Dawn system when you're talking about RWS and everything too, which was, obviously Pamela Coleman Smith and A.E. Waite. But Crowley being Crowley had took issues with some of the choices that A.E. Waite made for that deck, and flip some things around. But obviously, and he also has a much more focus on some of the more alchemical and that's just they're so good. They're so beautiful.
I've always loved that Empress. That's beautiful.
Yeah, my favorite card in it. I love the Moon card in the Thoth. It is one of the most beautiful cards, in my opinion. There's just so many good cards.
Just wish they weren't called Trumps.
Yeah, well,
I had to throw that out there.
Yeah, I
says
agree.
The Thoth gives her headaches.
I mean, it's a different system. It's a different but I mean,
it's similar enough.
It's similar enough that I feel like anybody really realistically should be able to read to some extent. You're not going to get the full experience out of it unless you're really understanding the amount of symbolism. It's a lot around the Kabbalistic tree of life and Sephiroth and stuff. So it's just there's a lot to take in.
Which I'm learning about in the Decoded Tarot.
See, there you go. Yeah,
I've been sharing with you. They include some of that with the RWS in this, so I'm learning about the Kabbalah.
It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards.
And Moira says she likes both the Thoth and the RWS. Now that Death card is cool. I love animal.
Yeah, the Death card is really nice. It's funny because so when I bought this deck, I believe I bought this in '89. I'm not 100% sure what year it was, but I think it was '89. This is an '86 printing. And yeah, obviously, Crowley's got a lot of sexy stuff.
Well, yeah, they had their kink, unfortunately.
I mean, it's
like
you have to also think about this in terms of it's based around like Thelema and stuff, where it's a lot of his idea of magic comes from the union between the sexes and the alchemical
and any energy that's raised from
so there's a lot of clearly
sex magic.
I mean, you can't deny like the
penis with two balls,
exactly, and a bunch of little sperm blowing around. Look at this.
Sorry, Heather.
No, you're right.
It's 100% right. Yeah. That tower card.
That's why Gardner
gorgeous.
Took that is that they were all, wanting to include.
Look at that star.
I love the star card. That is one of my favorites.
Star card is so amazing. But look at this moon card.
Yes.
I
Annubis.
love this card so much. That is.
Oh my god.
You see how
symbolism in that too.
Yeah. You see how much
scary card.
No,
yes,
no.
Yes and
Yeah.
no. But I would
Yeah.
say more no.
But you see how much symbolism that is so similar to what's going on in the RWS as well. I mean, you can put these cards next to each other and like see the similarities there. You know, obviously, you got the towers, you got the path. You know, like you have the two dogs.
I have to admit, I like Frida's artwork much better than I like
Yeah,
Pamela's.
yeah. I mean, so like
Just taste wise, but yeah.
12-year-old
She was a
me
better
was
artist.
like, "This is so much cooler."
Mhm.
Like, I was like, "Yeah, the RWS is boring and blah blah blah. I don't like it." And then it's funny
Right.
because like for the longest time, this is all I read, and then I really only got into RWS, you know, in the last decade or so, really.
And Tom,
Honestly,
Karen has a question for you. I can't remember because I haven't had this deck. I know there's prince and princesses, but Karen wants to know: aren't the knights the kings in this deck? I'll let
yeah,
you answer
yeah.
that.
Let me pull out like some of the.
So there's no knights in the top deck. It's prince,
It's
princess,
Prince. It's Prince.
princess.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Like, 'cause
actually gonna.
I know that's what like the Star Tarot does. They also
So
mix with the
this is what the new decks look like.
yeah. The Eight of Coins is stunning. Yeah, it's beautiful. The whole
What's the best way to learn this?
Honestly, so I'm actually in a study group right now that Modern Metaphysicae is running. So I'm kind of like I'm reapproaching the Thoth like from ground, like from like
From
those
the
ground up
beginning?
again. It's
Okay.
great, and we're going through. I don't think I have it in here. No, I don't. Lon Milo Duquette's book. I'll put a
and
link
Deanne
in.
says the deck looks Egyptian, and I know that they took a lot from the Egyptian, the
Well, yeah,
Arabian, the Middle Eastern, and brought all those influences.
yeah. I mean,
I
you
mean,
got to
like the
remember.
video, it's intense.
Yeah, I mean, like so, like where Pamela Colin Smith like was influenced a lot more by like Stolabuska, um, you know, traditional uh, imagery. That time period of the Victorian England, turn of the century, it was so much was fascinated about Egypt, and there's so much like of Egyptian lore in the like occultism. A lot of it's wrong and
How
badly
so?
translated. Well, there's just bad translations. There's bad understanding
Okay.
because people didn't understand a lot. That was like the time period was when they were starting to discover a lot
Yeah,
of tombs
before
and stuff,
Howard
and
and the
like
Tutankhamun stuff. Yeah, the Sphinx.
yeah, exactly. So there's a lot that they still had to learn at the time. Now
Possibly. Yeah.
Crowley had a lot of sorry, I'm just pulling up the link for the Lon Milo Duquette book.
And Moira said astrological associations to cork cards seem to make more sense with Toth, but not with the RWS.
I definitely have to study it then because
Yeah.
I find that it's harder. Well, RWS and the way that they correlate planets and whatever, you almost have to know astrology. It feels as if you have to know astrology, but maybe to start with a card deck that isn't the better way might be the good way to do it.
Yeah, Amy's Mystic Rose Tarot had a gentleman on who created a deck, and he says to be a true tarot reader, you need to study and know numerology, astrology, along with the meanings of the the RWS with the cards, to be a true, because of how interconnected, according to him, they all correlate together to give you a true tarot reading. But I mean, it would probably enhance a reading, but I think you can still call yourself a tarot reader if you don't understand.
It might be a better,
Yeah, I mean, I
I
think
can't remember his name though, so I apologize.
There's definitely an argument to make there, but I I don't. Anybody who says like, oh, you have to have this and this and this to be this, like, no, you don't. You can do whatever you want. You know, I mean, honestly, you can learn. You can read intuitively. You know, you can. There's people that just read oracles, like that have nothing to do with anything, and you know, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and try to gatekeep like what people can and can't read like. I
Deanne
just want
would
to.
like to, oh, I'm sorry. Deanne had a quick question. I think,
Yeah.
because you're talking about the thought. Is there any deck symbolic to Hinduism that you know of, Tom? I find it meditating to have a deck like that. I find it meditating. I don't know if that's the right word, but she wants to know if any
I can't
Hindu
think of any
comes to
offhand, but I'm
mind.
sure there are some.
See, I don't know because I am a complete disconnect with the Hindu pantheon and a lot of some things
Yeah.
are I can like the chakras and all, um yeah, if someone's really connect, Michelle Marie Deanne,
Yeah.
Michelle Marie, astrological
She
tarot,
would
she's
know that
all
answer.
about the Vedic. She speaks it clearly. Her mantras are clear. It's like a light language coming from her. She is very educated and studied in the Vedic and the Hindu. So I would reach out to her.
Yeah.
Astrological tarot, Michelle Marie.
And she'll be happy to
Yes.
answer. Yeah, I mean, like right now, like I just picked this book up recently. This is about the Kudukula, goddess of bewitchment, who is in the Indian pantheon, I
Also, she's in the
believe,
Indian pantheon. Okay.
if I remember correctly, in the Hindu set. But
well, thank you for your question, Deanne. But definitely, Michelle.
yeah,
Marie
I unfortunately
is
don't know the
so
answer.
cool. She's so down to earth. She would be more than happy to give you any references, for you. And let's see.
Yeah,
There was
and
some
exactly,
comments here.
Moira. The Golden Dawn is Western. I mean, it's based in Abrahamic systems. Obviously, like a lot of that comes out of that, but it's definitely outside of.
And I agree. Miss Terrell D says I don't necessarily agree with that. I know numerology, but not astrology.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a pretty good reader. You're a pretty good damn reader. Yes, Miss Terrell D.
I'm terrible with astrology. Honestly, like I'm absolutely terrible.
And that's why we have Karen. And Karen, text me back. We need to set a date for Leo this month. So okay, just let me put that.
Karen's got to do my natal chart.
If our human encyclopedia report were here, he would know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess somebody has a life on a Saturday night.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's too funny. Well, he's been having to do late hours at work because of where he works. His hours, he's been having to do it more of like a night shift, so he doesn't come home till. He says he'll try to pop in. He said earlier. Go ahead. I'm gonna put you on the big screen. What we got?
Yes, I just wanted to show the difference because I was like shocked by this. So I've always had this deck. This is the deck that is my original deck. And then when I was doing the study hall thing, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get like a new one just so I have for like a reference, so I could always keep it in order and everything, so I could still read with this one. And this is the new deck, and look how different they are. Like, so like this is what it. In the vintage Thoth world, it's called a greenie because they had this greenish tint to them.
Oh, that's a greenie.
Yeah, and there's like 3 different or 4 different kind of greenies out there, but like, oops, sorry, I'm trying to get used to this camera. But now like the detail's so much better in my original card. Like, look at how much details in the painting there, and like how awful it looks there. Ugh, just so not good. But yeah, so
kind of saturation overkill from the original.
I unfortunately these are a couple $100 now. These are cheap, so
Moira says greenie is sweet. Yes,
most
definitely. So Moira says, so world versus universe. I don't know if I understand that. World versus universe.
Oh, sorry. I didn't. Okay, hold on. Now I understand your question more. Sorry. Hold on. It's the world card and the universe card.
Sorry about if you hear my typing. I just got to respond to Karen really quick.
Sorry. I mean, again, some extent, they are similar. I don't have my RWS here, but you all know what the world card looks like. The idea,
It looks like tattoos. The new one looks like tattoos. Yep.
yeah.
I like that one much better. The greenies.
So this is the universe card, which is the
I
equivalent of
love
the
that.
world.
Yeah, despite the
card.
sake. Yep. I don't like snakes, but that one works. I don't mind it.
So I mean, you can see there's a lot of the same ideas around like the imagery of what's there. Oh man, I'm on the spot thinking about what I don't know how to answer. I don't know what specifically. What are you asking, Moira?
Karen says James Eads has a whole green card line out now too. I don't know who James Eads is and if that has to do with the Toth deck.
James R. Eads. So he's got his he has the green glyph set, I think is what you might be talking about. That is
why call it universe versus world?
So
is the meaning different?
Yes,
and I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah, okay.
Yes and no. You have to think about it in terms of, you have to think of everything in the Thoth deck also in terms of Thelema, in the sense that in the Book of the Law, the thinking is that in 1904 there was the ushering in of the new aeon, the new way of thinking. It was the the time of Horus was coming in. Actually, sorry. Trying to think of the best way to. So yes, it somewhat is about that. It's there's so much symbolism here that I'm trying to think of the best way to. There's a lot
it's
of
very
things.
confusing, people. I came across a channel called Agrippa something that I sent to Tom, and my brain glazed over all the names, the symbols, everything with the history just being thrown out. It was like it's so intense and it's so in depth. It takes a while to learn this stuff and a lot to remember.
And there's a lot of, so like with Thoth especially, like there's each card is there's a lot of Hebrew, a lot of the Hebrew letters are associated with the card. Each card has an associated letter, and there's it comes down to a lot of the combinations based around it. So I'm trying to remember which is that,
because that new deck that Jeff and I have that we're doing with Ramon and Bill, they talk about the glyphs and they introduce that into the tarot. So it's like, I don't know, is this maybe one of the ones that you're looking for? Because I have my book here. Are you looking for the Tree of Life Sephiras or the hidden?
I mean, that's definitely part of it. Yeah, because like the whole
the cherubic.
The cards are through each of the Sephiros of the Tree of Life.
Yeah, we have Keter, Chakma, Bina, Chesed, Gavura, Tiferet, Natzak. I probably saying some of these wrong. Had, Yesod, and Malkuth. So those are supposed to be the main ones. I just learned that. Learning that today, reading the book. Yeah, so this is gonna be fun, Jeff, discussing this book with you and Ramon. I mean, it's just and with Bill. This is so intense. Too bad Tom didn't get the deck.
I didn't. But
it didn't call to him. So that's
you did accidentally invite me to that.
I know I did. I thought you were. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I had to be like, I didn't get that deck. Well, I'll gladly join, but I'm not going to be able to talk about it.
Well, I'm so used to doing everything with you guys. You're my circle with this, and so that was my first. Boom, 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 and oops. But maybe it's a sign you're supposed to get it, right, Jeff?
Free will? Maybe it is.
It is a nice looking deck. I can't argue that.
It's it's a little contract. You're meant to.
It's a
Little airy fairy.
it's a little too AI looking for me.
Yeah.
I'm not anti AI,
Gotcha.
but to me, that's like it just yells AI.
Because we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago with Gerald.
Yeah,
It's been a while, so I already forgotten most of probably what we discussed. I would have to completely rewatch the whole thing.
yeah. And just to answer Karen, I think I know what she's talking about. I think she's talking about the Cerulean sequence deck that James R. Eads has. It's a Kickstarter that he had. I did back that, so I will be getting that once it comes in. But
so, Deanne, who invented the first tarot deck? Oh, this goes way back.
Nobody knows really.
Well, there's one video that you sent me. The couple that did the video, it has the haunted tarot deck. They were doing a brief history about some cards. I can't remember the name of them, but they had a very like Persian type of art to them.
Yes. I think those are the earliest that exist.
And then
it
started in the 17th century, where it was a playing game, and only the rich could afford to have, because every card wasn't printed; it was all intricately hand painted. So that showed a sign of wealth. And then as you go on, and then you get into, the game of hope, and then being associated with tarot with Lenormand, and that's where the Marseille, the Etale or something that I know some of you guys have. I know Ramon does. So it's a whole, again, another rabbit hole, but it's
well, the short answer is nobody really knows the history. There's things that exist still that they can point to, but nobody really knows like what came before those things. There's not like enough, unfortunately it's paper and doesn't always last. And
who knows what the Vatican has hidden in their vaults.
Well, that too.
And a lot of other places that they don't want people to see. And, like the Alexandria, a lot of those places, the libraries were burned, books were burned, things were burned.
Mm-hmm.
So there are probably a lot of things that we will never know.
Yeah,
Ramon would know all of this.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, like it's
Ramon, come on, get home. We want you.
It's quite interesting because there was a lot in medieval Renaissance. I guess in Renaissance Italy, when Tarocchi was like popular, and like how much of that was just card game. Like there's evidence of when some people like switched over to Solobusco was the one that Pixie was heavily probably influenced by. Yes, Moira. Yeah.
Look at you.
Solobusco is beautiful.
Yes.
So there's a really good book for that if you're interested in learning about Solobusco. Scarlet Imprint put out a fantastic book on it. The Game of Saturn by Peter Mark Adams. That's really
The Game
of Saturn.
Saturn by
Peter Mark Adams, I want to say, right? I think that's the name.
Peter Mark. So, that's interesting. His first, middle, and last name are all first names. Game of Saturn by Peter Mark Adams. So there's that.
I don't think it's available on Amazon, unfortunately, because it's Scarlet Imprint's a British publisher. But
Jeff, do you have any Toth or Sola Busca or anything you want to jump in the conversation? Yeah, I don't resonate with some of those. The Toth I might get back again someday, but
you should, just for the artwork. Honestly, it's so beautiful. Lady Frida Harris did such an amazing job.
The greenie compared to the white, it's just
but that's like
the greenie was something I was introduced to, and it was in the class. The workshop was in 1988. That was during my English
same time.
class.
Same.
Yeah, so she had, and this was a poet writer who came by the high school and say, do you have any students who would be interested in doing a poetry workshop with me for a couple of weeks? I don't know if they knew that she brought tarot cards, but John and I were like, "Ooh, what is this?" And I ended up falling in love with John, but that's another whole story. Oops! Oh no! What happened? Because I started talking about a boy.
I just started dropping my cards, so I'll be right back.
Oh, because you and Jeff went blank.
I don't know why Jeff ran away.
Oh no, I started talking about a boy. So alrighty. So okay. She was inspired by a lot of famous paintings too. You can see similarities in her artistic interpretation. Are you talking about Pamela or Frida? Care Bear. And every time I say Frida, I think of the woman from ABBA, Frida, who had that great song in the 80s. One hit wonder on her solo act, but you know.
Okay, sorry about that.
I know there's something going on.
Oh boy, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I walked away and she starts singing.
I know. Well, she's talking about Frida, not but I was thinking about Frida from ABBA and how she had that one hit wonder after she left ABBA. The 52 car pickup, yes. So
Almost.
Pamela,
Yeah.
or both of them.
So this is a modern Thoth
Okay.
that I just picked up. The Maria. I don't know how to say it.
And it's a what?
Tide. This is like a modern take on the Thoth.
Oh, okay.
So normally I don't like modern Thoth decks at all because I feel like
we dropped down to 3 people. Well, thanks everybody for still hanging in chat. I was like, a minute ago we were like at 11, and all of a sudden, boom, there's like 3 people. I was like, what? But yeah. There must be a news break or something going on. You never know.
It's very possible. I mean, here, this is the problem. Like, if you wanna understand Thoth, you really got to start.
And that's what this
understanding
book covers.
this. Yep.
They talk about each of those little colored spheres or circles. So.
Like, this is a pretty cool. It's a collage deck, which I'm normally also not a fan of generally.
Oh, here, let's put you on the big.
Yeah.
It's a little blur, but there we go.
There we go. Is that better?
I like the colors.
Yeah.
And Miss Tarot D says, "Oh, there is a wonderful reader who uses the Tree of Life in explaining the tarot cards, but I can't find her channel yet. If I do, I'll post it in the comments. Thank you, Miss Tarot D." Oh, I like the high. Oh, now that's cool.
Yeah, right. There's some really nice cards in this deck.
Look at the colors, the Empress. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I know, Deanne, you're still here. You're part of the 5. Welcome. Oh, we're back up to 5.
Yeah, this is a really beautiful deck. I love this Hierophant card. It's one of my favorite Hierophants.
Oh, with the elephants, yes.
Yeah, it's a really, really...
What is with the white borders on these printing companies, though? The white borders. This is what's...
I don't mind borders.
I want to see... Okay, I can't do that because you're on. I want to see the artwork going further. These white borders. Jeff, doesn't that drive you nuts with this deck? With all the white border with the art, we want to see more. At least that's one of my things about that deck is the lack of too much, or lack of coverage of the image and too much. There's just too much all white. I want to take a marker and start coloring in some of this in black so that the pictures. But that's a beautiful deck. Can you show some more?
Yeah, sure. Let me.
There is a terrible mass market modern Thoth. Don't recall the name though, Mario said.
Ooh, I must have it.
Yeah, there we go. Someone sent it.
I don't know which one you're referring to though. Here we go. Let me. Sorry, I'm just trying to not drop all my cards again.
Yeah, all these white borders. It's like, come on, guys. I know you're trying to,
Look at that Chariot. Such a gorgeous deck. Why are you not focusing? Come on.
Borders work with some decks, but usually I prefer borderless. Oh, wow.
The adjustment card is great. This is Justice.
So it's called Adjustment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hermit card.
Okay. Oh, I like
Fortune.
That. Very different from Lust. That must be the double card, right?
Nope. Strength.
Really? Oh, Strength? Is there something with Lust?
Yeah.
Mm.
Look at that Death card. Look at how beautiful that is. That is
colors and everything. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't really read with this deck yet, but
how do you associate Lust with the Strength card?
Look at this. Is the Devil card. How beautiful is that?
Yeah.
That is a great Devil card. But you see how it's it obviously is a shaft and balls. Looks like the regular Thoth. But they did a really good job of interpreting. The tower is gorgeous. There's so many good cards. Yeah, let me get into the
And Deanne, we're glad that you're hanging out with us tonight. It's good to see you in chat. It's been a while.
yeah, so let's get into what is this, wands. Yeah, so
the tower. Oh, that's wands. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh
this is
yeah,
wands.
these are very Thoth. Yes.
They're very
Thoth
Thothy.
or Toth.
I say Thoth, but I mean it's
Okay.
I've heard 50 million different pronunciations. Thoth.
Oh, that looks very Thoth right there. Yeah, all these. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what you can tell. Oh, that's almost like a complete copy. Almost.
Yeah, no, they're very similar. A lot of cards.
Except the Major Arcana, that's completely different.
Yeah. So.
Wow. I'd have to get the white borders, man.
This is a pretty expensive deck, I will just forewarn you.
65? Higher?
Yeah, and then the shipping, I think it was like $80 all said and done.
Hey, someone put on Etsy a $90 tarot deck, and all they did was use some, I think, Canva and some AI, and it's only 78 cards. And I'm like, $90? I mean, I know shipping is high and all, but come on, people.
Yeah, people are the worst.
So Jeff's like, I'm right. I'm going to get this deck. I'm going to like this deck.
There you go. Let's just.
And Karen says strength. Yes, that's the one. Lust is the base desires we try to control, and strength, maybe. Oh, we got some more cards.
Yeah. So this is just to go back to and I honestly, I don't remember the reasoning of why he did this, but so it's Knight.
Oh,
Queen.
I remember her. Yeah.
Prince.
Wow.
And princess. So there's no king.
I kind of like that. No king. Only queens here, right, Miss Tarot D?
Oh boy, and this is why people come in and complain in your channels. All
we need are queens, Miss Tarot D. And Deanne says, any Dungeon and Dragon cards? I think they did make I think there might be a deck on the market.
Goblins and Gardens.
There you go. And Jeff was responding to Karen. Strength to give into lust or know the difference between love and lust, and resist or strength to rise above it, kind of chaste. So yeah, different ways of looking at it. And the night he saw as active. And Karen says, I second the queens.
Thank you, Moira. See, Moira, why are you asking questions, Moira? You know everything you need to know.
Karen's taking us to school. Well,
yeah, I mean, this is why I'm like so happy, like, because I literally stopped reading Thoth like years ago. I just completely stopped. And
why?
I don't know. It just didn't interest me.
Love it so much. You get so excited, and you can see the passion. Hey,
it's reignited. It's reignited.
Maybe Tom was Aleister Crowley in his past life.
No, God, please don't. No.
You'd have all these songs being sung about you, and famous, But,
well, that'd be cool.
No, but I heard that from that video that somebody had to leave because of what's the word? When something goes, words. What are words? I'm a writer. I can't think of words. A basic word. When there's a not a conspiracy, but when there's someone does a no. There's a I can't think.
I don't know where you're going. Sorry.
No, it's like he was removed from the Golden Dawn. The initial.
Well, yeah, he didn't agree with
impropriety or something like that. There was a I can't think of the word.
Who was it? Mathers. I think he had the issues with. He
did something that was wrong. I'm thinking, well, either maybe did something to one of the female, practitioners, or he went against
blasphemy,
Not blasphemy. No, it's oh.
Come on, Heather. This is getting at me too. Yeah.
I don't know what word you're going for.
Watch, I'll wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. Where's my phone? I got the name. I got the word. Try to get online. Maybe somebody will come up with it, but it's just like, when something happens and, it's all like, oh, it's such a,
Yeah. And that's Lady Frida Harris. That's
So
who painted the
let's
Thoth.
put her on. There she goes. She's
So,
got a nice smile.
Crowley,
Oh boy.
Lady Frida Harris.
Yeah. He kind of went to the dark side. That's why I kind of hesitate, because I don't necessarily want that energy
Envy out there.
associated,
Define what the dark side is? And did he really go to it, or did he just want you to think he did? He called down.
He worked with
the
demons.
archangel.
He worked with bad spirits.
He worked with the angels too. So,
but that still,
worked with the same archangels that you're working with.
Oh, I don't. No.
He called down Michael too. So,
Yeah, I don't work with dark beings. No, I have enough stuff going on in my life without.
I'm not saying the demons. I'm saying the angels.
Well,
the same angels that you called down for protection.
Yeah, but
are the same ones he worked with.
Yeah, but he did dark magic. That's what I heard. Now I don't know if
that's
it's
what
true.
You heard, and a lot of that he put out there.
There's a lot of documentaries that have been popping up now on my YouTube feed because of watching the
you watched that Golden
Crippa.
Dawn thing, yeah.
But they said that he mentally, doing the magic, he couldn't control it properly. He opened portals, dark energies came in.
That's what a lot of people say about Boleskine. Yeah.
About who?
About the Boleskine house.
That and other. Yeah. Oh, there we go, Moira. Jimmy Page had fun in Crowley's old house. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the house.
Karen says, I know he feuded with William Butler Yeats, and there was even talk over the years that I heard on people talking about him and different documentaries or shows that, and of course YouTube, this is entertainment purposes only, but he participated in child sacrifice.
There's one line in the Book of the Law that gets arguably misinterpreted, we'll say.
So you don't think he did, or do you think he did? You don't think he did?
I think he wanted people to think he did. I don't think he did.
And so Miss Tarot D put up a YouTube video link. I don't know what it's for. Maybe Miss Tarot D will tell us. I think that's what she was looking for earlier. And let's see. Karen says, I know he feuded with William Butler Yeats.
Yep. Who was also in the Golden Dawn.
Yeah, her name is Ellen Goldberg. Okay, so there is a light and dark side to us all. Yes, Deanne. Facing the dark. Yeah, I'm not talking about the dark, that part of the dark being bad. I'm talking about actually malevolent forces used to harm people, to take lives from people, to gain power over other people, and to, abuse. And, when it comes to women, assault. I'll just even use that word, assault. Sacrificial stuff
yeah,
bad stuff. And his name's been dragged all through it.
but I mean, the argument that I would definitely make is that
Jeff is like sitting, going like smiling, like, oh, go ahead, Tom. Then I want to hear what Jeff has to say.
I mean,
he's leaning in.
The argument could be made also for like weight, and he was not a good person either. He was not a good person for women, homosexuals. There's a lot of like negative things that he has said over the year, but people like to ignore that.
Bye, Miss Tarot D.
Oh, Love Island.
Love Island.
Nice having you.
This is what we're losing on ratings too.
Love Island USA is
That's not on CBS anymore. Where did it go? Is it on Paramount
what
now.
It's on
this is.
Paramount, I think. Yeah,
See, I don't know what any of this is. So enjoy your Love Island. Mwah.
yeah.
We love
It's
you.
it's Love Island USA, Heather.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't.
instead of Love Island UK,
Oh,
the
I don't even
superior
know what
Love
that
Island.
is. I'm assuming it's another reality show.
Mhm.
It's a reality show. Yes, it's garbage, but it's fun garbage. I'm a
Oh,
reality
Marilyn
show
Manson.
junkie.
Yeah.
Was yeah, because when you said the chickens, Marilyn Manson has a song called "Chicken Gang Bang." So I'm thinking to myself, did Marilyn Manson read cards?
I'm sure he
Well, I'm
does.
probably
to some
sure.
extent.
And I also found out that he used to paint Avril Lavigne's toenails for her, or fingernails. She said in an interview once. I was just like, because I was going, Marilyn Manson painting toenails for Avril. I was like, what? You know? Yeah. That's just a little
Have
coinky that popped in.
all their albums. Yeah,
Oh, you like Marilyn Manson?
I like Marilyn Manson.
I liked Marilyn Manson back in the day. I used to have their demo tape when they were the Spooky Kids.
You did,
A friend of mine, it moved down to Florida,
Mm.
and he had moved back, and he was like, "Oh, you got to hear this band. They're awesome." And he gave me their tape, and I've lost it over the years in one of my moves, and it kills me. It was they were called Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids at the time, and I lost it. It's probably worth so much money.
Yeah, he scares me. There's a very dark energy. There's some music that I can listen to, but I can't look at him. Like with Rob Zombie, I can't look at Rob Zombie because
Rob Zombie's just not a
the
good
energy I get.
musician. I don't like Rob Zombie at all.
But yet you like Marilyn Manson.
I like the first album. I would say I don't like much after that, but that first album was really fun. I saw them on that tour. That was a really good tour.
And they had a female bassist too. She kicked ass. I just can't remember her name.
Oh, and White Zombie.
Very interesting name. White Zombie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just very openly with Satanism and stuff, and there was a lot of this dark stuff, and I couldn't. To me, it was more about how much can I shock somebody and disturb somebody, and for me, and not with the music, and I just could not. No.
I mean, there's definitely argument to be made against Marilyn Manson as a person, some of his Nazi leanings alleged.
I would be surprised.
There's some stuff that's been floated out there, like
really?
Yeah.
No, the darkest music I've ever heard is a song by Enya.
Then you need to get out of the house more, Moira.
I couldn't listen to it. Isn't that Paxo? Something called Paxo? Or she did some songs in Latin, and there was one that was called "Do." I mean, it sounds kind of. Oh, and I have an Enya playlist. Hold on, Moira. What? I think I know what song she's talking about. Playlist Enya. ABCD. Let's see, Depeche, drums, Enya. There we go. Unless I took it off. Cursum Persifico? No, yeah, Cursum Perficio, or was it the Pax Theorum? One of those two I know kind of gave me the creeps when I first heard it. So I don't know. Wait a minute. I stop at Johnny Depp. Wait a minute. Marilyn is too much. Wait, what? I'm confused, Dan.
Because there was similar allegations that were made against Johnny Depp were made against Marilyn Manson.
Oh, about being a white supremacist?
No. The whole assault stuff.
Oh,
remember Rose McGowan?
Yeah. A lot of them all do. That's
Rachel
the whole
Wood
thing about the music
said those things.
Industry.
A lot of it was kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Look at Led Zeppelin then too. So it's kind of like, horrible stuff you hear about Aerosmith that's actually true. That's proven.
What's the matter?
Grimly.
Nope, that's Bozy.
Bozy. Have I ever seen Bozy?
Probably not. He doesn't like to get picked up. Let me see.
Oh, okay. Hi, Bozy. So, Jeff, is there anything you want to share? I hope we haven't been.
No.
Hi, Bozy.
Hi, Bozy.
Oh, he is handsome. Look at that tabby boy.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Bozy. kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh, look at that.
He's
handsome
paranoid.
face. Brrr. Oh, he's loved. He's like, oh yes, oh I like this. People talking to me.
I know.
Oh, did you get jealous?
I know.
Did you? Oh my goodness, he hasn't been in here all night. He hears
I
me
know.
calling and kissing to your kitty, and then he comes in and yells at me. Ooh.
Aw.
Did I upset you by talking to another kitty?
Well, that was
Mozzie
cruel.
has
You shouldn't have done that.
spoken. Also, Depp and Manson are friends. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack, come on. Stop. I mean, I love Johnny. Again, it's Hollywood. People do things. I mean, look what happened at the Viper Room. So,
No. I mean, it's not Johnny's fault, but
no, but there was a lot of cover up and stuff too. People have said, with that and stuff that he knew that was going on there. And
I'm sure there was.
what happened to River and stuff.
Yeah.
So, the tourniquet video is good, and I like the song. Is that a Marilyn Manson? So I'm assuming that's a Marilyn Manson. I might take a look at that. I mean, I like Tool, but a lot of their videos are disturbing for me. I don't like to watch them. Huh?
I know.
You like Pantera?
I like some of their old stuff, like Walk.
I liked
I was into heavy.
Cemetery Gates. I thought was such a good song.
That is a very good song.
Like, it's so well written, like really well written, and it hit me at the right time. I was the right age and had the right experiences in my life, unfortunately, for that song to really
For which
take
song?
home. Cemetery Gates.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
that came out like right around when my father had died and everything, so just kind of like just hit the right way.
Oh yeah, and I still have songs that do, and it's been 20, 30 years almost.
Oh yeah.
Just a couple of notes and boom, it's there. I'm bawling, and it's just an automatic or an anger. Or now Karen says Johnny Depp was born June 9th, her birthday. But also who was born on June 9th? Michael J. Fox. So I just had to put that out there.
The fact that you know that is weird.
I was into Michael J. Fox. Him and Ralph
no, but like the fact I don't know any celebrity's birthday. I don't think.
I do.
I really don't know a lot. I remember Michael J. Fox. I forgot about Ralph Macchio's. I'm so sorry. I know that Mickey Dolenz was March 8th. I used to have a crush on Mickey Dolenz. And Def Leppard, one of the guys is the 2nd and the other guy's on the 8th. I always get the confused. I can't remember if it's Phil on the 2nd and Rick Savage on the 8th or vice versa. But yeah. Natalie Portman too. And today I tried calling my granny's Kayla to wish her happy birthday. She's got spina bifida. She's still like at like an 8 to 9 year old mentality, but she turned 24 today. I didn't get to talk to her. But today is her birthday. So a little shout out to my granny's Kayla. Sweet. Jeff's dog made an appearance this week. Yeah, that's right. You had your video with the dog. Oh, it was so cute. Is he a Sheltie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sheltie. Yeah. Yeah. He's 11. No, 12 now, I think. And the other one is 7, but he acts 2. And he just like acts like a puppy. I'm like, he's my uncle's dog, and he's like ultra spoiled, more so than the other one, which was my aunt's. But I inherited that dog, and that's my dog, and it has more my personality, like than it has the other ones. Like a storm comes in, like the other one starts freaking out. This one, the older one's like, whatever. Like we can only.
Yeah. And yes, Dr. Ruth passed away today. She almost made it to 100.
Yep.
Richard Simmons passed away.
Handle her.
Yeah, Richard Simmons passed away too. Yeah.
Today?
Yeah. Well, at least that was announced today. I don't know if he
76. He turned 76. What? 2 days ago.
He was having some mental problems, and I think some people were concerned that people who were looking over his welfare were kind of abusing him too. There was rumor going through that he wasn't he was being mistreated by caregivers. So, and he
Yeah.
really helped so many people. He really cared and loved about people and wanting them to be healthy and to feel good and to love themselves. So, oh man,
Yeah, and Shelley Duvall. Yeah,
Shelley
Good
Duvall.
Shining.
yeah, it was the other day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
A couple days
Yeah.
ago. And Karen says, Tom, I am an astrology nerd. I always want to know
yeah. You get a
birthdays.
pass, Karen. It's okay.
That's why everybody loved that when I did that show with Gerald that day when I mentioned I had that color astrology book for colors
Yeah.
for everybody, including Tom, wanted their birthdays. That was so much fun. It was just like, oh, okay. But yeah,
Well, it's just
Shelley
a novel
Duvall.
take on it. It's such a nice, like, different approach.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
She uses. She said she used astrology numerology. She just didn't go into the book and explain how she did the formula. She just said, "Nope, I did all the work, the research, and this is the results," but didn't show the process or stuff. So I would have liked to have seen that, but from what I was getting, some people were like really resonating with and
Yep.
with you as well, Tom. I can't remember. I know it was November 27th.
Nope.
No, October 27th, excuse me. Because it was
I'm a
the day after
Scorpio,
my
damn it.
daddy's birthday. Hey, I called my dad one day when he was still alive on September 26th. I said, I'm like, Dad's me. He goes, yeah, happy birthday. And he goes, oh, thanks, honey. It's a month early. What? He goes, it's next month. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so you and my daddy were Scorpios. And I have a lot of Scorpio in my placements in my chart. I got like 3 of them. So not too bad. Sex and health kick the bucket.
There you go.
Oh, my God, Dan. Oh, but Richard really helped so many people. That was like his mission in life, to make people feel good. And I would laugh sometimes when I saw him, but it was just like, but he was genuine. It was coming from a real place of love and compassion for, people. And he changed a lot of people's lives. He touched and changed a lot of them. So, but gentlemen, we're at 9:46. Anything else? Any other little rabbit holes or portals or time loops we want to go down into, or vortices?
The shooter at the Trump event was killed.
Yeah.
In case we didn't know. So.
And somebody in the audience, I think, too.
Yeah. And so now it's, to me, it's going to be like another Lee Harvey Oswald. They killed the person before that person can talk. I know we said we weren't going to talk about it, but Jeff, I think you might have been backstage, but Tom and I were saying that we felt like this was possibly, of course, YouTube entertainment purposes only, that this was arranged.
I think that too. That's what I got from the cards.
I don't know if he knew it was coming.
I don't know if anything. Yeah,
I heard of it, but
I don't know if any. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure of anything, honestly, at this point. But
the shooter was on a grassy knoll, not attending the rally.
It was.
And another one was injured. So yeah, I think this was an attempt.
They're also crazy too that his base could be also nuts. That they were going to do it anyway, but they wanted to make it look like, you know what I mean? Like someone was trying to attack him. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that by virtue of that is arranged too. You think about the guy that had his feet, in the fire, or like set himself on fire at the first trial. I mean, he was a martyr too. So
what trial?
You didn't know about that?
Some guy set himself on fire. So I don't watch the news. I don't get into this.
At the New York trial. Yeah.
The New York
energy
trial
is not good for me. Okay.
This was before the Stormy Daniels trial. I think this was one about
the financial one, right?
The financial, blowing up of his wealth or inflation of his wealth and the towers. Someone was standing across the street that came in and he took a taxi into New York City and he lit himself on fire. Yeah. Look it up, Heather, if you want to read about it. I mean,
or don't.
I read on it on my channel if you want to see it. Yeah.
And Moira is sharing some more. So I guess we couldn't escape it tonight. The shooter had a rifle, was on a hill with others who could not get into the rally. So I don't know. Again, something that's
Yeah.
going to be covered up, and it's going to be a shit show now on all the Fox and everything. So yeah. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at it again
I'm
since.
really
But the
just been
chaos
trying to
around
focus
him,
on
you know,
getting out of here and my
that's what
life and
people
getting Shan
want.
and I put together, and this crazy shit keeps happening.
Yeah.
And I told Shan today, we were going to the park. I said, honey, it's going to get worse before it gets better, because we started seeing all the more signs and huge flags popping up around here on our route to the park. And I said, it's just going to get worse before it gets better. I said, there's going to be sort of unrest no matter what happens. I think it's going to be touch and go, and then you guys mention this afterwards. So yeah.
And there are a lot of people that agree with that. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get dark.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of people that want that.
And there are a lot of people that want that want the ascension in their lifetime. Not just evangelicals, but there are people that want to be sucked up into heaven now. And there's something to be said for every allegory or every myth, because there's every story or every parable has some grounding in
truth,
reality,
in reality.
or a fractal, if you will. So there are some people that think that we can make this happen, or like Trump becomes the catalyst for this, and we get zapped up to heaven, and then every apostate or every person that's a sinner goes
he's going to be made a martyr. This is what the whole problem is, and people are going to do things.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And we just got to kind of push back against the people. We can't let this interfere with our happiness and our mental well-being and our spiritual well-being. We just have to send light out there. I know it's
hard to
for
forget
people
that.
to say send love and light out, but really that's even if it's only so far that we can stretch it and keep as much of it for ourselves, to be able to keep ourselves in a good place and our loved ones nearby us. I mean, there's
Dan didn't know. Did you know, Dan?
I didn't know either until not till Jeff told me, but till Tom told me backstage a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it happened that much long before I jumped in with you. I think it was like 20, 30 minutes.
I couldn't pull myself away from it. I'm like,
yeah.
It's a tower moment we are living in on both sides. Yes, it is, Moira. Yep, and the news has to stop. It's about what sells and not about real journalism anymore. Right now, there's just like so many smoke and mirrors. The news is the magician. It's the sleight of hand. It's like smoke and mirrors. What you believe. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. Yeah. And we have to feel for ourselves. And we have to really hunker down, no matter what it is that we believe spiritually.
Yeah.
And if it's not spiritual, and we think that this is it, and there's nothing else after. It still is like when you hold your loved ones close to you and your fur babies, and just say, this is what's important to me right now, to stay, happy and healthy and mentally in place for myself and for my loved ones. I mean, c'est la vie. Yeah. Now I got that song by Robbie Neville in my head. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. That's just the way it goes. Do. Sometimes. Sorry. I had to keep singing when I saw Tom going.
And
I can't think of a Depeche Mode song right now. So
no
one's thrown anything in there that but yeah. Oh well. Well, gentlemen, if there isn't any, or Jeff, you got anything?
No.
Okay. Jeff is like, I want to get off of this live and go to the TV and see what the.
Well, in a way, yes. In a way, yes, on both things. But yeah.
And thank you too, Karen. Always.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, me too. We try to make it once a month at least now. When Tom has
Trying.
trying. I mean, our life is all you know up and down, and everyone has their things that are going on. So,
Yeah.
but I would like to touch on that. Send me those links and stuff about the star seeds and your feelings about it, and
Yeah.
have a conversation. I would love to have, because that's what we do. That's what I like to do. I like to present, and of course, like I said already, we've shared a lot of stuff and shared beliefs that aren't quite popular with the status quo in our community, and but we keep it respectful. We keep it our own personal objectivity, and you know I like to make things to be open. you know I know it sounds like a broken record, but I do. If we just keep thinking and people saying the same, it almost becomes
It's an
kind
echo
of
chamber.
dogmatic in a way.
Yeah.
It's like you don't feel like there's room for other ways of thinking. And I like to be able to make sure that
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem right
we
now
can share
with certain things. There's
group
definitely
think.
this
Yeah.
echo chamber mentality
Mhm.
within spiritualism.
Hi, Grimly. Oh, no, that's Bozy.
That's Bozy again. Yeah.
Hi, Bozy. Oh, watch, the other one's going to come in. Right? Just because I see
He's
spirits doesn't
watching.
mean everyone else has to. There you go. They don't tell me to tell others what to do.
Yeah.
Yep. So tomorrow night, poetry with Jeff and I at 8 o'clock.
Should be
Um,
interesting.
and Jeff popping up during lives, when he gets his downloads and when he wants to share about what's going on. Oh, I'm sure there's going to be some
Anything random.
I'm
interesting
definitely tuning
poetry
in
tomorrow night.
for Jeff's poems tomorrow.
Oh, I know. Oh my goodness. I may even have something. I don't know. I have certain feelings, and I'll say those backstage, and Spirit can forgive me, and my guides can forgive me, but that's all I'll say. So everybody, thank you again for joining us. It was a blast as always with my little bros.
I hope Bill watches this on playback, like you said earlier, Heather, because I hope he has a take on the alien thing. But I also want to know if he knows about Toth decks and what he thinks too. So
all right, sounds good. Well, you got your homework, Bill. Jack just gave you your homework, so you got a report.
Where does Bill? Where does Bill stand on the alien stuff? Or we don't know.
I don't know. That's why I want to hear it. I'm curious.
And next year we're going to be sort of neighbors. We're going to be in the same state. I'm going to be down here, and he's going to be like here. So you never know. Might have to have a coffee or something one of these days. But
barbecue.
You got anything? You got any videos that you're going to be making, Tom? That you're going to be posting or anything?
I should be. I'm so freaking lazy. I have like 3 or 4 videos in the works that I just haven't gotten to. I was working my way through the that book that I wanted to do a video on, the Avalon Workings one, and I put the book down for a little bit because I got sidetracked with the started reading Delon Milo Duquette Thoth book again. So for the study group that I'm in, so I had to catch up on that, and I need to go back to that. So that is something that will come eventually. I have a ton of new things that I've gotten that I really wanted to talk about that I just haven't yet. So there will be stuff.
Cool.
And Karen, there will be some stuff that I think you'll be interested in because with the, I do plan on doing a video about some of the Mothman adjacent stuff that was talked about. So like the John Keel books and Gray Barker and things like that. So some of the stuff that Ramon had touched upon, but like it goes a little bit deeper into some of that.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole. I heard it was like over 2 hours of them pulling cards.
It was long.
That was a lot. It was a long one, but it was a good one.
Yeah,
it was a good one. So
yeah. Karen says it's okay, Tom. Me too. Life just keeps happening on me. Yep. It will. And she goes, "Yay! Can't wait." So, everybody who in chat and watching playback, subscribe to Tom, so that you'll know when he
Yep.
drops, whenever he drops,
Slowly inching
when he
my way up
eventually
towards
drops
500.
his videos. And it's of course too with Jeff, always posting, going live, with his downloads and with his tarot and his messages and his poetry. So, and we'll hopefully see some of y'all tomorrow. Hi, Jeffrey. We're actually waving off and saying goodnight, but
Yep.
thanks for popping in and saying hi. We appreciate that. And
Poetry tomorrow night.
yes, we got poetry at 8 o'clock. So, Jeffrey, come on by for some good writ. And there's going to be a lot that Jeff is going to be sharing tomorrow. Hey,
Hi,
Thomas.
Thomas.
There's another one.
So he was a lurking.
Yep.
So
He's lurking and being a spy, just watching what we're talking about.
Yeah. Reporting back to head command.
Yeah, what's going on, Thomas?
And so I was gonna make a joke, but now I can't remember what it was. Anywho's, Thomas, do you like the toss decks? Jeff was asking. And Deanne says, what some call Mothman, Anisha Nutbeg call Wendigo. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's definitely.
But cryptids are real.
Similar.
And they come from all sorts of, and sometimes people, I'm just wondering, I got a suspicion. I know we're supposed to be signing off, but when I was watching, I was trying to pull cards. I had to stop because the cards I was pulling when Ginger came across them, it was for like the last question, and so she was getting confused on how does this relate to this question. So I held off on the cards, but I'm just wondering that no one started really seeing this until that young couple. And I'm just wondering if that young couple might have been partaking in, let's play with the Ouija board maybe out there, or do, you know what I mean? Or do something where maybe they opened up a portal or something. Because no one saw this thing until this couple said it came. So,
yeah,
that was just
TNT,
a thought that I remember. That was the thought that I remembered having when they were initially starting to talk about it. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, where did it come from?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you leaving?
I figure they would.
You done?
Yeah. Thomas
he's
is saying
done.
that the Republicans are trying to compare his attempted assassination to Dr. Martin Luther King.
I'm gonna
watch that.
Of course. Yeah. And that's why I'm going to be like, no.
This is, no.
And the media
this is why I'm not saying anything.
In there,
and
the media
Thomas says he has one thought deck. So, and Bright Inside. Oh, there goes Jimmy Corsetti. Everyone's going to be doing lives now, all over YouTube. Not our community, but the one that was talking about.
It's going to be all over. Yeah.
And stuff. He just dropped the video. So,
what
so what is the name, Thomas, that Jeff would like to know of your toss deck?
I'm trying to learn, or I'm gonna learn, hopefully. So.
Yeah, and if you get the same one as Thomas, maybe you can work with him and he can help teach you and guide you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, I will be avoiding lots of shows. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Marina and Sherry and Allie and all of them are just going to be jumping up. The Aleister Crowley one.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna study a thought deck, that's the one to study. Like, and then there's variations of, like, the Guild Tarot is kind of a play on it. The Ritual Tarot is a play on thought. The Toziel, the Maria, however you say it. There's definitely a lot of options out there, but personally, I like the original. The OG Thoth is the best one.
The OG.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lorraine, we're just ending. So thanks for popping in and saying hello. And again, just before we end, everybody, please stay calm, stay grounded. Call in your guides. Surround yourself with light. Try not to let the energies that are going on right now affect your spiritual well-being, your mental well-being, and your emotional well-being. And if you feel that you're having a hard time mentally, emotionally, handling this news and what everything's going to be being shouted out at, please find someone to talk to. There are a lot of counselors that have walk-in clinics. There are numbers for toll-free for suicide ideation or for helplines. They're easily found on the internet. So anybody, just make sure that, if you feel like, you're having a hard time getting through this, just make that phone call and they will put you in touch with somebody to talk to you to help you through this. You don't have to go through this alone. This is when we really need to come together now, and support and uplift each other. So yeah. And on that note, Sterling needs to come in now. Yeah. Oh, Linda G must be your aunt. Yeah. So we will let everybody go. Everyone have a good night. Be at peace, and we'll
Bye,
talk to you
Tom.
later.
Bye, Heather.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.